The UA entrance exam did not begin with a battle. It began with noise. Hundreds of students filled the auditorium, their voices blending into a nervous storm. Some whispered strategy, some bragged loudly. Some stretched their arms, legs, tails, wings, or extra limbs. Others sat silently, staring forward as if the exam had already begun inside their minds. Izuku Midoriya sat near the middle row. His notebook rested open on his lap. His pencil moved quickly. Entrance exam structure, practical combat against foe villains, point system based on robot destruction, unknown rescue component possible, quirk-based mobility advantage expected. KUs must remain controlled. Avoid revealing full flying ability unless necessary. Do not let guard down. His hand paused. He looked at that final sentence. Goku's voice echoed in his memory. Don't let your guard down. Not when you think you're winning. Not when you think the danger is over. Not when you see someone else in trouble. Izuku closed his notebook. He breathed in slowly. Power level 400, stable. Not too much, not too little, enough. On the stage, Present Mike threw both arms out. Welcome, listeners, to the UA High School entrance exam. The room shook with his voice. Some students flinched. Izuku almost dropped his pencil. Present Mick explained the rules. There were foe villains worth 1, 2, and 3 points. Applicants would enter a simulated city and defeat as many as possible within the time limit. Izuku's mind sharpened. Destroy robots, gain points, avoid unnecessary damage, maintain key reinforcement in short bursts, use flight only for positioning if hidden. Then another student stood up, tall, glasses, serious expression. Excuse me, the boy called out. There appears to be no explanation for the fourth type of foe villain listed in our exam pamphlets. If this is an error, then UA, Japan's top academy, should be ashamed of such poor preparation. Izuku stiffened. The boy turned sharply toward him. And you have been muttering this entire time. It is distracting. Izuku shrank slightly out of old habit. Sorry. Then he stopped. He breathed again. No. He was nervous, but he was not the same as before. Sorry, Izuku repeated. Quieter, but steadier. I'll be careful. The serious boy looked surprised for a second, then adjusted his glasses and faced forward again. Present Mike laughed and explained the fourth robot. The 0-pointer. A massive obstacle. Not worth fighting. Not worth any points. Izuku wrote the phrase in his mind. Not worth points does not mean not dangerous. Above the school, beyond the clouds, Goku sat cross-legged in the air. He could not hear every word clearly through the building, but he could sense Izuku's energy. Nervous? Focused? A little scared? Good. Fear was not failure. Fear meant the body understood danger. The real test was whether the heart moved anyway. Goku smiled faintly. The city simulation was enormous. Izuku stood at the starting line with dozens of examinees around him. Tall buildings rose on both sides. Streets crossed in long, open paths. Fake traffic lights blinked. The air smelled faintly of dust, metal, and machine oil. Some applicants crouched like sprinters. Others prepared their quirks. Izuku stood upright. His breathing slowed. Power level 400. Suppress aura. Reinforce legs lightly. Observe first. Present Mike's voice boomed from the speakers. Start! For half a second, no one moved. Then chaos erupted. Students sprinted forward, blasting, leaping, stretching, rolling, flying, and crashing through the street. Izuku launched himself forward. Not too fast. Not yet. Ki moved through his legs in a controlled pulse. His body became lighter. His feet struck the ground with sharp rhythm as he passed several students who had underestimated the distance to the first intersection. A 1-point robot rolled from an alley. Izuku saw its targeting lens swivel toward him. He did not panic. He stepped left, gathered Ki into his palm, and released a tiny blast. Ha! The white-blue shot struck the robot's joint. Its front wheel burst apart. The robot collapsed. 1 point. Izuku's eyes widened. I did it! A 2-pointer came from the right. No time to celebrate. He ducked under its swinging arm, reinforced his fist, and struck the underside of its metal frame. The blow dented the machine but did not destroy it. Too shallow! The robot rotated. Izuku fired a second Ki blast into the damaged section. The machine sparked and dropped. 3 points total. He moved again. Above the clouds, Goku nodded. Good, he's not overusing it. Inside the monitoring room, the pro heroes watched rows of screens. Recovery Girl stood near the back, arms folded. Nezu sat with calm interest. Present Mike leaned toward the displays. Aizawa's tired eyes narrowed under his capture weapon. On one screen, Bakugo ripped through robots with explosive power. moving with violent precision. On another, a boy with engines in his legs dashed through the streets, destroying robots while maintaining strict form. On another, a girl with brown hair touched debris and sent it floating away from her path. Then one screen showed Izuku. A small white-blue projectile struck a robot's leg joint. The machine fell. One of the staff members frowned. "What quirk is that?" Another typed quickly into a console. "Candidate, Izuku Midoriya. Records indicate quirkless." The room went quiet. Present Mike lowered his sunglasses slightly. "Quirkless?" The technician scanned again. "No registered quirk. Medical file confirms no quirk factor expression." Aizawa leaned forward. "Then what is he doing?" On the screen, Izuku jumped over a robot's low strike, hovered for less than a second, then landed behind it. Recovery girl blinked. "That looked like flight." The technician shook his head. "No quirk activation detected." Nezu's eyes gleamed. "How very interesting." Aizawa did not look away from the screen. "He's controlling something. Not a quirk, but something." Izuku's score climbed slowly. Not as fast as Bakugo, not as fast as the strongest examinees, but steady. 1 point, 3 points, 5, 8, 12. He did not waste attacks. He did not fire large blasts. He targeted joints, sensors, weak spots. He used movement, not brute force. He was doing it. He was really doing it. Then the ground shook. At first, Izuku thought it was an explosion from another examinee. Then it came again, louder. He turned, buildings trembled. Students stopped fighting. A shadow swallowed the street. The zero-pointer emerged. It was enormous. A towering machine, far larger than any other robot in the exam. Its metal body rose above the buildings. Its arms were thick enough to crush vehicles. Its head scraped near the rooftops as it advanced, each step shaking the city block. Students ran. "Zero-pointer! It's not worth anything! Get out of here!" Izuku's body tensed. His first instinct was to move away. The rule was clear. The zero-pointer was not worth points. Do not fight it. Do not waste energy. Do not show too much. Then he heard a cry. A girl was trapped in the street ahead. The brown-haired girl from before, Ochaco Uraraka. Her leg was pinned under rubble from a collapsed wall. She pushed at it desperately, but she could not free herself. The zero-pointer stepped forward, one massive foot rising above her. Time slowed. Izuku's breath stopped. Goku's warning echoed. Not when you see someone else in trouble. His legs moved, not from panic this time, from decision. Izuku launched forward. Ki exploded through his body. The ground cracked under his feet. Several examinees turned as a green-haired boy shot past them, faster than he had moved the entire exam. Ochaco looked up. The zero-pointer's foot descended. Izuku flew. Not a jump, not a leap, flight. His body lifted from the ground, white-blue ki flaring around his arms and legs. He shot under the robot's falling leg and slammed both hands upward against the metal sole. Rah! The impact hit. The zero-pointer's foot stopped. The street cracked beneath Izuku. His arms screamed. His bones trembled. But ki surged through his muscles, holding them together. The machine pressed downward. Izuku pushed back. Everyone saw it. The fleeing examinees froze. The staff in the monitoring room stood. Ochaco stared from beneath the shadow of the robot, eyes wide with disbelief. Izuku Midoriya, the boy with no registered quirk, was holding up the zero-pointer's leg. His aura flickered violently. Power level 400, then 430, 450, 451. Too much, too fast. Izuku gritted his teeth. "Move," he shouted. "Please." Ochaco snapped back to herself and pulled at her trapped leg. It would not come free. The zero-pointer adjusted its weight. Izuku felt the pressure double. His arms bent. His feet, suspended above the broken street, slipped backward in the air. No. Above the clouds, Goku's eyes widened. Dust from the crushed street spiraled upward, reaching the sky in a brown-gray column. Through it, he could see Izuku's aura flickering. Goku did not move. His fingers twitched. Every instinct told him to help. But this was the exam. This was Izuku's moment. And the boy was not finished. Goku's expression softened into pride. In his mind, he said only one thing. "You did it." Amazing job. Then he looked at Ochaco below. Saving the young lady first. That's a hero. Inside the monitoring room, chaos broke out. His output just spiked. "What quirk is this?" "I told you no quirk factor detected. Scan again." "We are scanning." The screen displayed Izuku's profile. Izuku Midoriya. Quirk, none. Aizawa's eyes narrowed. No quirk. Nezu leaned forward, smile small and unreadable, yet he is generating directed force, aerial movement, and reinforcement. Present Mike stared at the screen. That kid's holding up a zero-pointer. Recovery Girl's expression tightened. He'll destroy his body if he keeps that up. All Might stood near the back of the room, silent. His fists trembled. He had seen this boy run into danger once before. Now he was doing it again. But this time, he had power. Not one for all. Not a quirk. Something else. And still, the heart was the same. All Might whispered, "Young Midoriya." Izuku's arms shook. His vision blurred. He had lifted the leg, but he could not hold it forever. Ochaco was still trapped. The robot's internal systems whined, recalculating pressure. Izuku felt the machine beginning to force its foot down again. No, not enough. Holding it was not enough. He had to move it. Goku's training flashed through his mind. Power level isn't just a number. It's how much force your body, mind, and spirit can handle without falling apart. If your power gets bigger than your control, you become dangerous. Try the best way you can do. Izuku inhaled. He stopped trying to overpower the robot with raw strength. Instead, he shifted. Ki moved from his arms into his back, legs, and palms. The zero-pointer's weight pressed down. Izuku angled his body. Not down. His aura brightened. Away! He twisted in the air and shoved the robot's leg sideways. The zero-pointer lost balance. The enormous machine tilted. Its foot crashed into the street beside Ochaco instead of on top of her. The impact threw dust and stone into the air. Ochaco screamed as debris flew around her. Izuku landed in front of her, panting. "You okay?" She stared at him. You flew? I'll explain later." The zero-pointer's body groaned overhead. It was falling. Not completely, but enough that its arm came down toward both of them as it tried to stabilize. Izuku looked up. There was no time to carry Ochaco away. His body was already strained. His aura flickered, but his mind became clear. He raised both hands. The stance was familiar, too familiar. High above the clouds, Goku's eyes widened. Oh. Izuku planted his feet. His palms drew back to one side. White-blue energy gathered between them, small at first, then growing brighter. He had practiced this only at low output, never like this. Never in public. Never against something this large. But the form was burned into his body. Goku's teaching. Goku's attack. A familiar ki blast shaped by a student who had no quirk but refused to let someone be crushed. Izuku's voice shook, then strengthened. Ka. The monitoring room froze. Me. Ochaco stared from behind him. Ha. The zero-pointer's arm descended. Izuku's aura burst outward. Me. His arms thrust forward. Ha! A beam of white-blue ki exploded from his hands. The blast struck the zero-pointer's chest. For 1 second, the giant machine resisted. Then the beam punched through its armor. Metal tore apart. The zero-pointer's upper body detonated in a storm of sparks, broken plates, and shattered machinery. The blast carried the ruined mass backward, away from the examinees, away from Ochaco, away from the street full of students. The enormous robot collapsed in pieces across the far end of the city block. Silence followed. No one moved. Dust rolled through the street. Pieces of metal rained down. Izuku stood with both arms extended, smoke rising from his palms. His eyes were wide. He had done it. He had destroyed the zero-pointer. Then the pain hit. His knees buckled. His ki dropped sharply, power level falling. 400, 400, 102, 403. His vision dimmed. I used too much. His body tilted backward. The sky spun above him. Ochaco gasped. She slapped her hands against the rubble pinning her leg. Release! The rubble floated just enough for her to pull free. Then she lunged forward and touched Izuku's arm. Zero gravity! Izuku's falling body became weightless. Instead of crashing onto broken concrete, he drifted gently downward. Ochaco, still limping, grabbed his sleeve and guided him as best she could. Come on, come on. Izuku floated toward the street, then slowly touched down on his back. Soft, safe. Ochaco collapsed beside him, breathing hard. The exam siren blared. Time's up! No one cheered at first. They were still staring. A quirkless boy had flown, lifted the zero-pointer's leg, saved a trapped girl, and destroyed the giant robot with an energy blast no scanner could identify. Then the silence broke. What was that? He destroyed it. That wasn't a quirk. He saved her. Did you see him fly? The monitoring room erupted at the same time. Present Mike shouted, Yeah! That's what I call a finish! Aizawa remained silent, eyes fixed on the screen. Recovery Girl grabbed her medical bag. That boy needs treatment. Nezu looked at Izuku's profile again. Quirk, none. His smile grew. Fascinating. All Might said nothing. His eyes were wet. He had seen many strong students, many gifted students, many powerful quirks, but what he had just seen was not merely power. It was the same thing he had seen in the street months ago. A body moving before reward, before points, before safety, a heart choosing rescue first. All Might placed one hand over his chest. "Young Midoriya," he whispered, "you will be a pro hero in the future." Far above UA, Goku sat on his cloud, arms crossed. The dust from the destroyed zero-pointer rose high enough to brush the lower sky. Through it, he could see Izuku lying on the ground, exhausted but alive. Ochaco was beside him, safe. Goku smiled. Not his battle smile, not the grin he wore when facing a strong opponent. This was quieter, prouder. "That was amazing, Izuku." He looked down at the city simulation. "You didn't fight for points. You fought because someone needed help." His stomach growled. Goku blinked, then smiled again. "Still gotta work on not using all your energy at once, though." Below, Recovery Girl rushed toward Izuku. Ochaco waved weakly for help. The other examinees continued staring, unable to understand what they had witnessed. Izuku's eyes fluttered half open. For a moment, through the dust and sunlight, he thought he saw a figure above the clouds. Orange, small, watching. Izuku smiled faintly. "Master." Then he passed out. The UA entrance exam was over, and every hero watching now knew one impossible fact. Izuku Midoriya had no quirk, but he had power. He had heart. And somewhere beyond the clouds, someone had taught him how to fly.